Chaos Theory, here with another Among Us. We are going to do part 2 of our Scientology trilogy. So today we're going to talk about Scientology itself, right? Last time we spoke about L. Ron Hubbard and how he was, a little cuckoo and made up a lot of stuff. And our part 3 will be about the celebrities that have been inside Scientology, those who are still in and those who are out. So today we're going again into what Scientology is, what it means to be a Scientologist, and the different things that you can do in Scientology. So remember to watch the movie Going Clear if ever you haven't seen this documentary. I highly recommend it. There's plenty of sites on the internet. One that I really enjoy on YouTube is Growing Up in Scientology by Aaron Levin Smith. He gives a real kind of look into how he grew up as a Scientologist when he left, and how he's trying to make people understand that Scientology is a cult and how bad it is, okay? So that's definitely one to check out. If ever you're able to see Leah Remini's The Aftermath show, she talks to a bunch of ex-Scientologists and she delves into her own experience in Scientology. So those are all great references if you want to learn about Scientology. We live in Quebec, and as I said, there are 2 orgs here in Quebec. There's 2 churches. There's one in Quebec City and one in Montreal, unfortunately. So, it happens. And there's some in Canada, obviously, also. So, let's dive back into what Scientology is. Remember, on part 1, we talked about how L. Ron Hubbard had taken out a book called Dianetics, The Modern Science of Mental Health in 1950. When it started dying down in 1953, he thought, hey, let's make this into a religion and make more money because religions are tax exempt in the States. But honestly, the tax exempt guys took 40 years after that. He got it in 1993. He was already dead at that point. So he started the religion in 1953. He started the Sea Org. So what is the Sea Org, you're going to ask? The Sea Org started so he could have people on a ship and to get the tax exempt and do tax fraud and go out to sea and not have to pay taxes. And the Sea Org was a way for him to kind of get people in and keep them hooked. Oh, you're going to sign a billion-year contract to be in the Sea Org. And you're going to pledge yourself for your next lifetimes to making Scientology the best that it can be and to help the planet heal. That's the whole point of the Sea Org. And then you have, it's almost like the army guys. There's like ranks in the Sea Org. And L. Ron Hubbard was obviously the chief, like the head guy. And then he had these kids working for him called the messengers, and they would bring him messages from other people and things like that on the boat. So the Sea Org itself started in 1967, okay? Then in 1969, L. Ron Hubbard saw that certain celebrities had started kind of looking into Scientology, and it got interesting. And so he started opening celebrity centers, because the best way to get people in is to tell you, hey, this celebrity's a Scientologist. Look how great the celebrity is doing. Let's make sure your life is just as good. So he started doing that. And, we'll talk about the celebrities in the next one, but there were a few, high stakes coming into the 70s. Isaac Hayes, John Travolta, Kirstie Alley, all these people started showing up to get Dianetics and to learn more about Scientology. We got the Sea Org, which is just weird, guys. Like why do you need this? What was it used for? It's still in existence today. If you want to join the Sea Org, it's supposed to be like the most fraternal part of the religion. We're all supposed to help each other and make our lives better and diffuse Scientology. I don't know why you would decide to do a billion-year contract. That to me, it just doesn't make any sense. So the whole point of Scientology is to go up the bridge to freedom, okay? Right now, you're at the bottom of the bridge when you start. You have all of these engrams, all of these bad things that are on you that you have to get rid of. The way to get rid of all of these things is to follow Scientology, to follow the teachings of L. Ron Hubbard, and to get audited. Now, the auditing machine, I briefly spoke about it last time, but it's two metal cans that have very, very small amount of electricity going to a box, okay? So you have an auditor on one side of the table asking you questions. You're on the other side holding the cans. And they will ask you questions and repeat the same questions in different ways. And they're trying to see if the needle on the machine has a response to what you're saying. If it does, then they keep going until there's no more reaction, because what you want to get rid of is this reactive mind that you have. Okay, so you're at the bottom and you're going up. Your first goal is to go clear, which is, funny enough, the name of the documentary and of the book written by Lawrence Wright, who actually worked on this documentary also. So that's your whole point, is to go clear. When you are cleared, okay, I found this on their site, it cures you of physical ailments ranging from poor eyesight to the common cold. So once you're clear, gosh, you can get rid of your cold by yourself. Like, no more medication, no more. First of all, there's no medication in Scientology. They don't believe in psychologists. They don't believe in psychiatrists. They don't go to the doctor. That's not what happens in Scientology. It just doesn't happen. But when you're at that stage of going clear, you're supposed to be able to cure yourself of certain ailments. This is a little cuckoo, but all right, fine. Once you've gone clear, then your next step are to do your OT levels. And I think so far they went up to 10. When L. Ron Hubbard started it, there were 8. Okay, I think they went up to 10. The only person who's been to level 10 is David Miscavige, who is the COB, chief of the board. He's the president, the guru, call it what you want, but he is the main guy, and he's the only one who's been to level 10. Now, when you're doing these OT levels, okay, first of all, you're spending insane amounts of money on these things. Thousands of dollars for each thing, because you have to pay. The way the model is for Scientology is you have these blocks of hours that you pay for auditing, because that's how you get past your things and you go up the levels, you get audited. So you have to pay for these blocks, and these blocks are like $1,500, $2,000, and then you add. And then every time you have to buy this book, you have to buy this audiobook, you have to buy this course, you have to buy that. It's a pyramid scheme. It's, I don't know what else to call it. It's like you're just buying stuff. If I remember correctly, Leah Remini said she was in it for $500,000 just for her. And then you're kind of persuaded to, hey, if you have a husband, well, you got to buy your husband's bridge. And if you got kids, you got to buy your kids' bridges. And hey, pay it in advance. You know you'll get there. You know you'll get there. Don't worry about it. Just pay in advance. It'll cost you less. So people are putting insane amounts of money on their credit cards. They're maxing out their credit cards. They're putting all this money into Scientology and not even getting past certain levels. So it's a scam. It really is. Okay? And then here's the kicker, guys. Why most people don't leave after this level is beyond me. So I'm going to explain it to you. Ugh, it makes no sense. So remember what we said in the last one. L. Ron Hubbard was a science fiction writer. Keep that in mind when I tell you this crazy cuckoo story. OT3 is one of those levels that is super important in Scientology. When you get to OT3, you get brought into a special room. You get a suitcase that is locked. When you open that suitcase, it is handwritten notes from L. Ron Hubbard on how the world got created. And guys, we had it all wrong. Jeebus did not do all of this. It is a galactic overlord called Xenu. Yep, Xenu created everything. Xenu is an evil lord who used hydrogen bombs and volcanoes to murder his enemies and imprison their souls on Earth. Doesn't that sound like science fiction to you guys? Because that sounds like science fiction to me. And quite frankly, this is the whole story Xenu explains. And then, you know, those souls that got trapped were then brought to Earth, and that's what you're possessed with. You're possessed with all these thetans that you have to get rid of. What? It makes no sense, okay? Paul Haggis, who is a famous Canadian director, producer, is part of this documentary Going Clear, and he said that when he got to OT3, he went, whoa, what is this? I'm okay with the self-help. I'm okay with doing these courses and trying to better myself, but what the F is this? And Xenu, and we're all trapped with these thetans. And he goes, that's when I was out. It didn't make any sense. And Leah Remini said the same thing, that when she got to it, she was like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, why? And it takes a while to get to OT3. You don't do OT3 from the bottom of the bridge within a year. There's no way. There's no way. It could take you 10, 12, 15, 20 years before you get to OT3. Some people never get to OT3 because there's always something to restart. That's the thing with Scientology, is we're always restarting. Oh, there was an error in one of L. Ron Hubbard's books, and now there's a new version of the book that came out, so you have to redo your level 1 because there's some errors that we found. So it's constantly, oh no, we need to redo this, we need to redo your levels because something got messed up. And it's like, well, the religion, I say this very loosely, has existed, since 1953. You guys haven't had your shit together by then? There's something wrong with that. So that's the story of Xenu. Go on the internet, look it up. It's cuckoo bananas. Why people stay past that, I will never understand. So then there's other levels. There's, you know, like I said, up to 10, I think now. And everything costs money. Everything costs time, because you're supposed to be doing Scientology almost 24 hours a day. Like, it's crazy. The people who are part of the Sea Org, guys, work a minimum of 12 hours a day, often physical labor, and get paid something around $50 a week. When they were on the boat with L. Ron Hubbard, per week, they wouldn't even get paid $50, but L. Ron Hubbard received $15,000 a week from Scientology. It's insane. It's $1 billion a year company. All of this because the IRS decided to stop pursuing them for fraud and say, okay, we'll recognize you as a religion now. That was the biggest mistake that they ever made, because now they're screwed. They're screwed. Here's what is happening. They're taking over towns like Clearwater. Clearwater, basically, in Florida, is their mecca. It's where their main hotel is. That's where, you know, a lot of things happen. Guys, they tried to buy a street from Clearwater so that they can hold their events on it and prevent people from walking on their street. Clearwater was like, no, man, we're not letting you buy a street. Like, this is ridiculous. You're already building, fine, build. But it's also, you're building stuff, but there's nobody in them. Like, there's a street in Clearwater called L. Ron Hubbard Street. Or Boulevard, I'm not sure which one, but there's a bunch of little shops. There's nothing in those shops. Nothing's open, but they have to look like they're building. Oh, look at what we're doing for the community. So if you guys look at the YouTube channel, Growing Up in Scientology, Aaron really dives into, because he's from Clearwater, and he really dives into, here's what happens in Clearwater. Here's the protest that we do. He talks about everything that happened with them trying to buy this street. Like, he really goes into depth. So if you guys want to learn more about Clearwater, definitely look into his TV show, podcast, channel. Definitely look into it. It's worth it. He brings a bout of humor to it. It's really worth it, okay? Doing our levels, we're going up the bridge. We're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars, which celebrities can afford it. Okay, I get it. Tom Cruise can definitely afford going to OT8, OT10. Absolutely. But normal people like you and me, I don't know how they do it. They go into debt. They definitely go into debt, and they put their house on mortgage, and then they put their house on the line because they have to get through these. And the scam is they're always finding something new. So how can you better yourself? So that's what happens to a lot of people, is they kind of go, I'm over this. Like, I'm not getting any better. I'm not going up my levels like I should. What is this bringing to me anymore? It's not. So some people leave because of that. The other thing that has happened in Scientology, and the big thing, is that when L. Ron Hubbard suffered a stroke in 1986, and he died a week later, the person who took over wasn't initially the person that was supposed to take over. Like we said, David Miscavige is now the head guy of Scientology. He's done one interview in his whole Scientology career, and it went horribly, so he's never done another one since. So David Miscavige was born in 1960. He was introduced to Scientology by his father in 1971. Another great book to read is Ron Miscavige's book. He really talks about how he feels horrible to have brought his children into this religion and for his son to have turned completely against him. Really interesting book. He said it cleared his asthma. He's like, oh, Scientology helped me clear my asthma. Now I don't have asthma issues. He married Shelley Barnett in 1982. A lot of sites talk about where is Shelley, because people have not seen her since like 2006. She's been hidden away somewhere, but like some people are starting to talk about it, like Tom DeVock and Aaron's talked about it, and I think Mike Rinder has talked about it too. All ex-Scientologists who grew up knowing Shelley, and they're like, we know where she is, but she's nobody. She's, yes, COB's wife. It means nothing in the Sea Org. And because they're both Sea Org members, she is just like a Sea Org member, and she goes off to work. So she is not with her husband most of the time. I think she's in California and he's in Florida. So they're not even in the same place, which is a little weird. So he became the leader, and that's when things got real bad, guys. A lot of high senior members that left the Sea Org actually said that he is violent. He is an egomaniac. He is just after money. He doesn't care about anybody. It's my way or the highway. And so a lot of people have left because of the treatments that he has done. He has punched people. He has pinned them one against the other. He brings them to the rehabilitation center, Rehabilitation Force Project it's called, and they are sleeping in squalor. They're not fed properly. This is to get them back on track to Scientology. But some of the high levels, like Mike Rinder, who was a high level, was there for a couple of years, away from his children and his wife, like completely isolated. It's insane. It's just insane. Lo and behold, Tom Cruise gets into Scientology in 1986 because of his first wife, Mimi Rogers, who was a Scientologist at that point. And guess who became his new best friend? Miscavige, guys. David has kissed Tom Cruise's butt, and he was best man at his wedding for Katie Holmes. Tried to separate him and Nicole Kidman when they were together because she was a bad person. David Miscavige is trying to, promote Tom Cruise to like, he is the #1 Scientologist. Everybody should be like Tom Cruise. He is bringing Scientology to billions of people around the earth with just being who he is. Like, it's whatever. Anyway, so when you're in Scientology and then you leave, you are declared a suppressive person. A suppressive person is somebody who talks bad, basically, about Scientology. So if you have family members that stay in Scientology and you get kicked out, you're no longer able to speak to them. They will not speak to you. And if you speak publicly about anything related to Scientology, there will be hate, websites put up about you. There will be crews coming to your house filming you saying, why are you doing this? Why are you being this way? So like when Paul Haggis left Scientology, a bunch of his celebrity friends came over to his house and they're like, you can leave, it's fine. Just don't talk publicly about it because it's going to be hell. We won't be able to talk to you. And he's like, guys, I need to talk about it. This is wrong. What is happening in this cult is wrong. So he decided to talk about it, and then there was a great bunch of articles, the Tampa Bay Times, where they talked about Scientology and how bad it had gotten. And this is all from people who left, who were in the organization for a very long time. Mike Rinder was brought up basically as a Scientologist. And when he left, he was like, David Miscavige hit me. He put me in the RPF. He was a bad man. He was a bad man. And so he exposed that. Another man like Tom DeVock, Marty Rathbun, Amy Scobie, all of these high executives were shut down and have these hate websites about them that are just probably full of lies just to try to make themselves look good. Oh no, we're Scientologists, we're good people. So this religion, which is supposed to better your life, right? Religion is there to uplift you, to give you faith, to give you... What is Scientology doing exactly? It's taking your money, telling you, oh, this is what you're going to get. You're going to be able to have like almost superpowers if you get to OT8, guys. You'll be able to go external from your body. And people believe this. So all of this stuff is just wrong. You're making people believe that they're going to achieve this special thing, and then you give them nothing. So they're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on bettering themselves, but they're not, because some of them have mental issues. Some of them have really like physical problems or, you know, health-wise, and they get no help for it because no, we don't go see doctors. We don't see psychologists. We don't see psychiatrists. We're against those people. Why? Because L. Ron Hubbard asked for help and didn't get the help that he wanted. So he decided, oh, well, no, Scientology is against this. We can't have that. We can't have those people looking into Scientology. Because when he brought it up to the American Psychology Association, they were like, sir, this doesn't make any sense. Like, we can't promote this. This is not what we are about. So anyway, guys, that's Scientology in a nutshell. Okay, there's so much more to talk about. There's, you know, little details. I just want to give you like the bullet points, and I want you to go look at it. And if you want to learn more about it, definitely, like I said, look at those documentaries, find those books. Don't go on Scientology websites, please, because all this does is promote them. If you go to Montreal and you see the church, don't go in. Okay, they will try to sucker you in. They do love bombing, guys. They're like, oh my God, we're so happy you're here. We're going to make your life so much better. Like, you have no clue. It's all about love bombing and trying to get you in. Don't go to the one in Quebec. Like, just don't. It's not worth it. There's so much better stuff that you can do out there. And yes, some people will say, well, is it really a cult? Or, you know, yeah, I think so, because the things that they do in Scientology are not really what a religion is about. Who disconnects from people that they love because they don't have the same views? You know, it's unbelievable. And now, I totally forgot to mention this, but guys, since 2010, I'm going to make sure that I have the Nation of Islam, which is a known religion in the States, but elsewhere around the world also, they began to introduce Scientology teachings to their members. And now the Nation of Islam is like this. It's unbelievable to me that another group has kind of joined in to this craziness. And their leader has said that, you know, L. Ron Hubbard is a great man, and David Miscavige, oh, he's bringing so much good to this world. And it's like they're suckering people in, guys. This is scary. This is very scary. So if you're looking to help yourself, there's so many different ways of doing it. I don't think Scientology is the way. I really don't. That's my opinion. If you want to explore it for yourself, you want to find out more about it, definitely take a look at it. And guys, I hope you like this video. I know it's probably a long one and I rant on a lot. It's something that I'm very passionate about. I think it's wrong. I don't think it's a religion at all. I think it's a business model, and I think it should be stopped. So that's just my opinion. But please like and subscribe to our channel. Like I said, I will do the third video very shortly to talk to you guys about the celebrities in Scientology, because there have been quite a few. So take care of yourselves and don't join a cult. Okay, guys? Bye.